Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Nhung Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual.
Legislative leader meets Australian minister and parliamentarians. Plenty of space for growth in Vietnam's consumer market. Buckwheat Flower Festival becomes tourist icon of Hà Giang.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc hosted receptions for Azerbaijan and Brunei ambassadors who came to present their credentials on December the 1st.
Meeting new Azerbaijani ambassador Sofi Kamal Olu Medizade, the state leader said Vietnam always treasures the traditional friendship with the country. Ambassador Sofi Kamal Olu Medizade conveys the Azerbaijani president's invitation for the Non-Aligned Movement Summit 2023, which will focus on issues related to post-COVID-19 recovery. He said that the president of Azerbaijan always prioritizes the development of ties with Vietnam and pledged to work hard for the growth of the traditional friendship between the two countries. The same day, the state leader also hosted a reception for the new ambassador of Brunei. The diplomat expressed her belief that the comprehensive partnership between the two countries will further expand in the future and promised to do her best to promote the ties. President Phúc said Vietnam and Brunei have shared a close relationship and share the pressure as the growth of bilateral economic partnership with two ways exceeding the target of $500 million set for 2025. He suggested the ambassador focus on promoting the economic and trade collaboration between the two countries.
Despite many difficulties, Vietnam has managed to keep the overall situation under good control with stable macroeconomy and ensured major balances, including a trade surplus of over $10 billion. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính made the remark while chairing a regular government meeting on December the 1st. Prime Minister Chính noted that in November, the world situation continued to develop in a rapid and complicated way, with increasing risk factors with worldwide effects. Inside the country, many measures were implemented to ensure the healthy development of specific markets. In that context, the government, ministries, sectors, and localities rolled out timely measures, including the formation of working groups to solve specific issues. As a result, the economy was kept stable, with state collection exceeding the target by $11.19 billion. He said, at the same time, the political stability, social order and safety have been also ensured, the country's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity maintained, and external relations strengthened. The government leader said it is necessary to continue to deal with emerging problems such as the shortage of petrol, medicine, and bioproducts, and keep markets stable while ensuring a warm and safe Lunar New Year or Tet festival for the people and the supply of commodities. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired a conference on December the 1st in Hanoi, where participants discussed measures to get easy yellow card on Vietnam's fishing removed. At the conference, leaders of ministries, branches, and localities discussed international experiences and put forth solutions in order to have the European Commission's yellow card removed. Delegates cited limited public awareness and difficulties in managing fishing activities as major factors behind the problem. Prime Minister Chính spoke highly of the efforts made by ministries, agencies, and localities in implementing tasks and solutions to combat illegal, undeclared, and unregulated fishing. He requested that ministries and agencies coordinate with localities to review overall technological measures to combat IUU fishing. He asked for urgent development of the 180-day action plan to implement the European Commission's recommendations on combating IUU fishing. National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ had meetings with Australian Minister of Education Justin Clare and leaders of the opposition in the House of Representatives and the Senate Peter Dutton and Simon Birmingham on December the 1st as part of his activities in Australia.
Meeting the Australian minister, the Vietnamese legislative leader underlined the importance of the education and training cooperation in the Vietnam-Australia relations. He suggested the Australian side pay attention to promoting bilateral education and training cooperation in various forms. Claire said he is looking forward to a visit to Vietnam in 2023 to discuss education cooperation, especially in general and higher education, and student exchange between the two countries. He expressed his trust in great cooperation opportunities in education and training between the two countries. Meeting leaders of the opposition in the House of Representatives and the Senate Peter Dutton and Simon Birmingham, the chairman reaffirmed Vietnam's consistent of attaching great importance to comprehensive relations with Australia at all levels and channels. The Australian parliamentary leaders affirmed that their country always attaches great importance to strengthening relations with Vietnam, and support to lift the bilateral relations to a new height. They agreed to coordinate with Vietnam's partner agencies to boost cooperation in specific fields, including the exchange of delegations and expanding cooperation in various forms. The Communist Party of Vietnam and Australian political parties. At the meeting with Senator, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Penny Wong, the Vietnamese legislative leader said the National Assembly of Vietnam supported the upgrading of the two countries' relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership at an appropriate time when both sides complete procedures. Minister Penny affirmed that in her role, she will promote the implementation of the proposals of the chairman, including labour cooperation. She said Australia always attaches importance to cooperation with ASEAN, continuing to cooperate actively in the Mekong sub-region as well as other regional issues. At the meeting with representatives from the Australia-Vietnam Friendship Parliamentarians Group, the chairman spoke highly of the Australian Parliament's decision to establish the group with 57 members. He said the National Assembly of Vietnam has also established the Vietnam-Australia Friendship Parliamentarians Group with 11 members. The chair of the Australia-Vietnam Friendship Parliamentarians Group, Sharon Clayton, affirmed that they will work closely with the Vietnamese side to further strengthen the relationship between legislative bodies. On the afternoon of the same day, the top Vietnamese legislature attended question and answer sessions in the Senate and the House of Representatives where parliamentarians had queries about employment, circular economy, digital economy and green growth.
Surmounting difficulties to boost economic recovery, Vietnam is expected to post a foreign trade record of $780 billion in 2022.
Economic experts describe the export and import panorama as highly positive, as two more groups of commodities, transport vehicles and spare parts, and fishery products, have seen 11-month export value of over $10 billion, while import of materials for manufacturing have also surged. By the end of November, exports and imports totaled some $674 billion, higher than the whole 2021. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development said China's rice import has shifted from a low to high volume in the year-end period. Some EU countries also tend to import more rice to replace the wheat supply decline caused by the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Besides, products of the processing and manufacturing industry have also enjoyed growth of 6 to 40% in overseas shipments, helping turn export into a bright spot of the economy in 2022.
The Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee has just issued a decision on the implementation plan to develop the Southern Metropolis Seaport Infrastructure System.
Accordingly, by 2030, the municipal seaport and others in Vietnam's Group 4 are expected to have their goods and passengers throughputs reaching 461 to 540 million tons and 1.7 to 1.8 million by 2030, respectively. To realize such goals, Ho Chi Minh City will adjust its planning and investments of its transport infrastructure, inland port system, and logistics centers. In addition, the cities will coordinate with the Ministries of Transport in formulating planning on international passenger ports associated with key tourism development regions, as well as study planning and soon invest in the building of an international transshipment container port in Cần Giờ district, among others.
Vietnam's consumer market has substantial potential to grow, and the country has shown a great deal of resilience post-pandemic, according to Mr. Corey To, an economist from the Hong Kong Trade Development Council.
In an interview granted to Vietnam news agency correspondents in Hong Kong, Mr. To cited a forecast from the International Monetary Fund that Vietnam's GDP growth is likely to come in at 7 to 7.5% this year, leading the 5 emerging economies in ASEAN, which include Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam.
In 2021 and in the first 9 months of this year, Vietnam was Hong Kong's 8th largest trade partner and second among ASEAN members, so Hong Kong businesses should pay to the Vietnamese market.
With its young population, rapid urbanization, and abundant workforce, Vietnam is an attractive consumer market. It is also one of the fastest-growing e-commerce markets in Southeast Asia. According to Bain & Company, Vietnam's e-commerce sector has increased significantly in recent years, from $8 billion in 2020 to $13 billion in 2021 and is expected to hit $39 billion by 2025.
Hong Kong businesses pay more attention to further exploiting Vietnam's e-commerce market, as the Southeast Asian country has a lot of potential for the strong development of electronic payments.
The ASEAN-Hong Kong Free Trade Agreement. A huge role in promoting trade relations between Vietnam and Hong Kong. Localities in Vietnam and Hong Kong have witnessed close economic and trade cooperation over recent years, Mr. To said, noting that Vietnam has long been among Hong Kong's top 10 trading partners.
The Buckwheat Flower Festival has returned for the 8th time in Dong Van district, the northernmost province of Hà Giang, and has become a magnet for tourists from far and wide. The 8th holding of the Buckwheat Flower Festival is now underway in Dong Van district, Hà Giang province, attracting a large number of both local and foreign visitors. In preparation for the festival, the locality has grown hundreds of hectares of buckwheat flowers, which are expected to bloom between mid-October and late December.
I think this is the best time to travel to Hà Giang, and this is also the season of buckwheat flowers, which are a specialty of the locality.
Visitors can take in a flower road along Dong Van Ancient Street, as well as various folk games of local ethnic minorities, sporting events, and traditional cuisine. Buckwheat flowers on the Dong Van Karst Plateau Geopark have become a tourist icon of Hà Giang province. Not just used as a traditional food by ethnic minority people, the flowers also bring a poetic beauty to the area and a unique feature of the mountainous highlands. Vietjet has won twin awards from the notable magazine One Business Outlook, namely the Most Valued Airline of the Year in Asia 2022 and Best Cabin Crew Service in Asia 2022.
The airline has been also honored as the best low-cost airline in Vietnam at the annual World Airline Awards 2022 by Skytrax, the world's leading international air transport rating organization. With 150 million passengers transported across Vietnam and throughout the world, Vietjet has taken the lead to bring flying opportunities to everyone, continuously adopt new technology and further optimize customers' flight experiences, expanding flight network domestically and internationally. The new age carrier Vietjet has not only revolutionized the aviation industry in Vietnam but also been a pioneering airline across the region and around the world. The World Airline Awards began in 1999 by Skytrax and is referred to as the Oscars of the aviation industry.
And that has wrapped up the news bulletin. Thanks for watching and see you next time.